Good day, YouTubers. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around the world. We might get something done today. Hopefully this week. I've been working in the yard because it's springtime. So we're starting on the running rigging this week. According to the plans on the CD over there. This line begins at the block and then comes back to the block after we go out here on the line, or on the end of the yard arm, and then goes down to a baling pin. It looked like the drawing on the computer showing it going through the rat lines here somewhere to help direct it in the direction of the baling pins back there. And I'm almost wondering if I should be coming down on the other side of this yard arm over there instead of here in the back. I gotta go check, see if we can figure out where that's supposed to be. Because the back side of the yard arm on the mast is showing the red line in front of the yard arm. I always refer to the photograph on the box just to help. Yeah, so that's the line there, I think, coming through the rat lines on the shrouds at the angle, because the other ones are coming from the crow's nest, I think, in the middle. And this one is showing it too, going straight down through the rat lines and then back, because the baling pins are back here sort of behind the shrouds. Well, some of them are in the middle of it, but so let's see. Get it where you guys can see everything. We got it tied off there. Let me go ahead and cut this tail. This being Friday morning, every Friday morning I go to a men's Bible study at our church. And this is also Mother's Day weekend. I think Mother's Day is on Sunday. I just noticed this block here on the end has got two different holes in it. Maybe the other hole is for the sail. This model doesn't have sails on the yard arms. I think I think this is the first model I built that didn't have sails. Got that tangled on the foot rope down there. This yard arm might be a little too high, but I ain't gonna worry about that. I'm just looking under here at this tie-off point, if it's affecting that other shroud. So I'm gonna go down like halfway and then go through the shroud and the rat lines. I don't like the way this is sitting right on. It should be up here a little bit. And that's because it might be too long. I already put super glue up here where it's going through the crow's nest. And if it's too long, in order to shorten that up, I'd have to tie some knots in there or cut that off, because I just went up through. Yeah, that ain't coming out because it's super glue sort of welds that rope together. I don't like the way it's down here. Definitely should be up above the shroud. So maybe I can cheat by tying a rope to this rope and then come around this rib here to pull it up. Yeah, that'll work, won't it? Good grief, let's do that. I was in such a rush this morning to get started on this. I didn't take my time to think it through. So Tomasi, our Siberian Husky, just graduated dog training. Now I'll give that some slack. There, that's better, eh? We'll have to do the same thing over here. Just graduated dog training last Sunday, but I still don't trust him to not run off. And I'm not going to test him to see if he'll stay home. I tried to buy an air tag to put on his collar. And the one I bought was the wrong one. Let's see, maybe this should go over here. Think it should go up there. trying to zoom in here. And I got the camera back away from where I'm working at. So once again, let's check our drawing on the computer. Or the box. So sometimes the box has got, yeah. So it is showing that line that's going through the rat line shrouds there as coming to this side of the rack for these baling pins. So now I'm just looking up top to make sure my tension is correct. And we'll try to, it's impossible to do that with fingers. You gotta have tweezers on. Made a loop, and then this is turning the loop over. Well, that didn't work. Let's see here. I know in the past I was using the clamp tweezers to catch it there while I was working on it. This baling pin is so close to the wall there, it's hard to get around the back of it. Okay, that's good enough. So another trick I do is I put a little counterweight on that and glue it, and leave it till that dries, and I don't have to worry about that coming loose. Okay, so yeah, I'm okay with that. It's not perfect, but it's really close to our picture there. All right, let me rig up and do this other one. Okay, so let me see if I can get this on film. This is the middle yard arm up there, doing the stabilizing rope like we did on the lower one. Got the other side done on the lower one. So gotta get this on the end of the tweezers so I can hook it on the bottom of that baling pin. And with it wrapped around the bottom of the baling pin, the very end of the tweezers again, bring it up to the top side and just roll it around there. And now is when you got to check for your tension to make sure this is at the right position up top where this is going to. And once you're certain that's okay, then I'm using this spring-loaded grab tweezers and coming in there and trapping that line so it can't go slack or fall off of the baling pin. Now all I got to do is make a loop, something like that loop there, and then with either these tweezers or the other ones, it's always easier with these fine tweezers to get that rope behind the baling pin. Once it's behind it, then I can pull that slack out and pull the knot tight. So I think that's a clove hitch or a half hitch. Which is enough to grab it where it won't come loose, because it's sort of trapping itself from coming loose. That was way too much glue. And then with this tail here, I'm going to put a little counterweight on it so it gets a chance for that to dry. And then we'll go on to the next one. So this is the one we just did up here in the middle yard arm. And because the baling pin's in the back over there, I went to the back side and go down through the crow's nest. I think it'll look better. And then I got these clamps on here to help hold this thing sort of level while I'm pulling on it, because it'll try to tip it up if I pull on it too much. Tomasi, he's smelling something underneath the shed. There might be a cat or a possum. I had a dead possum under there one time that died right up here near the door underneath there, and I had to pick a couple of these blocks out of the way and reach up under there and get him, throw him in the hole in the ground. But every now and then there'll be a possum try to get in chicken coop. I pretty much got that possum proof now. The neighbor's dog has killed a possum over on his side a couple times. Oh, there is something new over there, yeah. The neighbor is keeping up with the Joneses. You can see that there. They built a chicken coop, and they got 3 white chickens and 1 orange tan one that are teenage chickens, you know, pullets. So it'll be a little while before they lay eggs again. But and of course we got a couple of hawks that are making nests now because it's springtime, and they live in that giant eucalyptus tree. It's probably the biggest tree in south part of town where I live. That every year they come back and make a nest in there. I don't know if they make the same nest And I know they're there every year, the last 4 or 5 years. A pair of hawks or osprey, eagles. See, Tomasi's working on a squirrel. There's several squirrels that hang in that oak tree since we got the treehouse tore out of there. They've been running around in that tree a lot more than I normally see them. He's got all his toys out here. I mowed the grass yesterday. You can see the garden is booming. Been picking cherry tomatoes every day and a little bit of lettuce and herbs, a lot of herbs. Starting to harvest a little bit of onion. Look at him laying upside down over there with his ball. He is a real character. I think he feels at home finally. All right, let's do the other side of this middle mast. Okay, so we just finished up the middle yard arm supports, and I just fished them through and glued them, tied them off on the very top yard arm. So I'm going to leave those clamps on there until everything dries. And we got our baling pins tied off both sides. So that pretty much matches the box. Hello, Tomasi. Say hello to the world. So now what is next? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, that's the bottom two blocks on that top yard arm. That'll fill up 2 more baling pins. And then the same on the middle. And the bottom one is a little different. Yeah, maybe that's the second hole in that block there. We're gonna go yeah, good grief, I gotta figure that out. But that's more running rigging for next week. And that'll fill up almost all the baling pins. We gotta look this over real good. Make sure. But yeah, these 2 next. And then down, almost the same thing all the way down. But down here it's a little different in the way that it laces, and I think it's going to have an extra block because these ones out here on the end have 2 holes. So we've already used one of the holes. All right, thanks for watching.